So I think what I'll do is come up here to this front fender, and I know I have to replace this, so I'll get some more of this bondo out of here and try to fix this front fender. So that's the plan for today, and looks like this door needs a little love here too. Just sanding here. I'm kind of tired of sanding. Yeah, this back fender looks real good from this angle. Anyway, that's the plan today. Try to patch this up and see what it looks like. Well, this was a lot more than just a rusted panel. See all that bondo down in there. This is 1/2 inch thick here on the front. This back one is built up pretty good. It looks like the top part of the fender really wasn't too bad, but I got quite a bit of mess right in here, and I need to bolt that front valance down and the stone guard here, get that all straight before I can really do much to this. Don't know what I'm gonna do. This part looks pretty good. The bottom piece should have new fenders, what it should have, but I'm not going to do that. I'll try to fix what I got. And I felt behind it, this thing is I might be able to get some of that out, but it's 1/2 inch thick all the way around here, 3/4 of an inch. So I think that inner panel has probably been bondoed to it. So I'll have to replace this rusted out spot here. I can cut that and do it. I need to figure out what's going on over here. This rusted place is pretty bad. It has a general shape. It just looks bad right now. I'll have to clean up all this bondo and have a look at it, determine what needs to be done. Yeah, I knocked this all down with 40 grit to kind of see where my good metal was. This top's not too bad. This piece of the fender here isn't too bad. Looked like they had done some work in here. I'm not sure what's going on with that. This bottom piece of the fender here looks like it might be pretty straight. Got a rust out spot here. Actually, it doesn't look as bad as it did before. I can kind of see that the metal's pretty straight. I think what they tried to do was just cover the whole thing up and take out that fender flare. I'm not sure what they were thinking about when they did this. I'll kind of have to match it to the other side. I went up in there. That don't look too bad. It's got some rust spots right down in the bottom. And this fender lip. But I'm going to have to back it up and straighten out all this valence and everything. Get it bolted in straight. And I'm going to have to make this fender fit this lower valence. But for now, I can work on this section. It looks like there was a groove in the metal right here. They did a pretty good job of bondoing one up in there. But I don't think it matches the door. The door does look like it's a little low. I'll have to adjust that door. Good chunk of bondo right there in the middle of the door. But I need to strip all of this to figure out what's going on with this door crack. But for now, I know I need to replace this. I think I can make it in two pieces. This has been hammered out a lot right in here. I think the best way to do this would be cut a piece here back to about here somewhere into this good metal. Cut this out, make another piece and put it in there. Not real sure how I'm going to do this. With the brazing, I got to be real careful because I can't weld next to the brazing. This piece here, I think I ought to cut it up here where it's good and replace it all the way down to the bottom. Down in here somewhere. So I can probably do this with two pieces. Looks like this groove ends right here, and then it turns and goes into the fender lip. And I can tell it wasn't beat out. That's actually where the original fender's groove quit, was right here. I guess first thing would be to just cut this out in here and try to replace this. I mean, it's pitted pretty bad. It's good up in here, but trying to weld that stuff is not really going to fly very good. So I guess that'd be the first thing, is to cut that piece out of there and see what I can do about making another piece to put in it. Well, this inner fender panel here is rusted real bad. The front lip is rusted out completely. I've still got some shape in it, but I think I need to cut this down here somewhere replace this whole piece, this lip. I've got a pretty nice shape right here, so I think what I'm going to do is put a piece of paper and trace this shape out and make me another lip to start with, and cut it off in here as best I can, clean it up, and I can put it in and I can butt weld it right along here. I can leave the inside too long. I can always trim that off, and then later I can pull the tire off and weld it from the back. But I think I need to get a good piece here first, while I've still got the right shape to this what's left of the original fender. Once I got that on, I don't have to make a lip on it like this or anything. I can make a piece that goes across here onto the new lip, weld it down the edge, and I think I can probably manage to weld in here. I still got good metal most of the way down. So you can make two pieces, a curved piece and this piece here, and weld them in. That's going to be the tricky part, is just getting this curve right, trying to match this stuff. I don't know what I'll do about this here. Looks like I can there's a side fender brace about right here. I could probably beat this out a little bit, get it a little better, but it's right in this area. Without taking the fender off, I don't see how else I could get it. And I don't know if it'd be worth trying to pull this fender just to beat out this stuff right here when it's pretty close anyway. This is going to be the hard part, is this lip right here. I cut me a little piece out here, and I clamped it into the end of the fender, and then I smoothed this edge out so it matches it real close. And next thing I'm going to do is cut the end across here so it'll fit in there, and that'll tell me where my edge is up here, and this will all line up. So once I cut that out, then I can go ahead and cut this rusty piece out of here, and see what I can do about clamping it in. Well, it's all been kind of a mess. I'm quite a ways away from that fender spacer. I pushed the fender in as much as I can. There's a lot of brass in there and rust and all kinds of stuff. Not really any way to weld anything very good, but I've got my my piece here with a curve in it, and I'm going to try to tack weld it here to this in the old fender, try to match my curve, do as best I can down there, and just try to get this piece in here straight. I really don't like doing this. This fender is so chewed up anyway. I should put another one on, but they're like $300 plus shipping and $200 minimum if I buy 2 of them. So I'm just going to try to at least weld this up and patch it in and see what kind of results I have. It's just going to cost me time and welding rod. Well, I dollied this area here out pretty flat and got my piece sorted out, and I just gooped a lot of weld in here to give it some strength. I'm still not quite done. Looks like I could knock a little of this out. I've got a pretty bad low spot right here I can knock out. That's down in quite a bit. I don't know whether I ought to cut it, knock it out, and weld it again, because I think I'm going to mess up my curve here if I just pound it out. But it's going to be hard to weld it into this brass right here. I may just put a little plate right in there and weld the plate. I just hate using bondo, but it's not very strong. You can see it's bending there now, just pushing on it with a rod. But once I get this piece here in it and this part, it'll be all right. I tried to get all of the old piece of this flare off. I ground it down as much as I could. Still got a lot of brass in it, but I think I'm going to have enough to tack it to good steel. This bottom piece down here, that's part of the lip. I think I'll try to cut it right next to that brass lip there and pull this all out. Get that off of there. But I got a pretty good curve here, and I'll have to make another one to fit this area here. Like I say, I'm not real pleased about this fender at all, but I really won't make up my mind until I can get this piece finished and ground down, throw a little bondo on it and see what it looks like. I may just decide to go with a whole nother fender. That's what I should do. But I'll try to do what I can here, and I haven't even really looked at that front part. Don't look all that bad, but this was a really bad part here where it was all rusted out. So I'll continue welding on this and bring it back. Well, I got me a piece pretty much formed here. Looks like it's going to go in good there, and I've got it where it's kind of hard to show with one hand. Down here on the bottom, curves in pretty good, and it's fairly straight. I've got a big place here. I can't really knock it out. So I'm going to go from this good edge here that I know is the shape that I want, and tack this in on that lip, wherever that happens to be. And then this gaps that I have in here, I'll just fill that up with some filler. I can't really pound it out. Because I can only get to about right here. So I think that's good enough for what I'm doing. I'll try to tack this thing in here, and I'm going to throw some rust paint in there first, and see what we can do about forming this fender curve. There's our piece tacked in. I got it a little hot because I was trying to bend this caved in part of the fender out. I got a little hoopty-doos in it. Kind of knocked them down a little. Basically, I created a big low spot right here because I went into the fender to weld it. It's not too bad. It's not like a 1/2 inch of bondo over the whole thing. I still got quite a bit of weld in here to do. Got to be careful with this edge I don't destroy it. And I got a little patch in there I need to make. But basically, I've got a pretty decent fender flare here. I can't really see it in the camera, but it's fairly round and matches what I got there. So I'll let this cool off a little and continue to weld it up and knock it down, and then hopefully I'll throw a little bondo on there and it won't look too bad. Here it is, ground down and ready for bondo. I worked on that there. I think I'll try to keep a little bit of a lip in there, but I think this is good enough to at least see what I got. I know I got a high spot here, so this will probably all have to get filled up, but it's a lot better than that old rusted out part. And I got the fender lip, that's all new, so mix up some bondo and put on it and see what it looks like. Well, that was drying over there. I moved here to the driver's side to see how much of this ridge I could preserve, and they put a patch in it here. It's like about 4 inches long. It's not too bad. I don't see any rust or anything in it. So it looks like I've got about 3/4 of an inch right here in the middle from the fender. It's should be kind of scooping in. They had it straight down. You can see the amount of bondo that was on it there was a lot. Probably 1/4 of an inch. But I'm sure I can grind down some of this brass and dent that in a little bit so I can continue this curve onto the fender. So it looks like I got about 3/4 of an inch here. This side's now got bondo in it, but it's about 3/4 of an inch too. So I may have to work on this one a little bit, but I'm going to be able to define this this ridge here all the way across. This bondo's not dry at all. I didn't mix it very hot, so it's pretty easy to get off. But I've got it pretty straight up and down here. Took quite a bit right in here where it was dented. This was high, I knocked it in a little. But from the front of the tire all the way back to here, I pretty much got this bondoed. I need to let it dry a little bit more and then shape it before it gets hard. But it looks like I'll be able to transfer this ridge to the other side. There was a lot of bondo on that driver's side, so going to be a lot of taking it off, and I still have to get up in there and fix whatever's going on the front end. But what I was trying to get done today was this back rusted out edge. So it looks like I've kind of got that. I'll bring it back when I get it sanded. Well, I mixed up some of my bondo real thin with that body honey and kind of lathered it on here. I tried to preserve my my ridge there. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I didn't try to smooth this very good or anything. Mostly it's wet and I had it fill everything. So it looks pretty good, and I've got a decent curve there in it, and I kind of got this front one as it's starting to come out. So I basically got the body work done on this front fender. I think it's good enough. I just hope that other fender's not completely covered with bondo. By the way, I'm just checking here. Basically right at the back of the wheel, I got this much of my finger where it goes in past the edge, and here on this side, right at the back of the wheel, it's almost the same. So I think my fenders will have the right flare and everything in them. I get a match side to side. I don't know what they're supposed to look like. I don't have a new one here to compare it, but the main thing is it looks good. So that's kind of it for me today. I'll go home, let that bondo dry good, and call it quits.